Hello there, guys. It's Mr. Zapar. I've had a request to show off not just my mastery pages, but also just explain what each of the masteries does and why they're better. So, I'm going to go a lot more in depth in this video just for mastery pages. We're going to start off an offensive tree. Basically, double-edged sword, your most heavily offensive trait you could possibly have is you deal more damage, you take more damage. I would recommend it on a lot of people with sustain or mages, anyone with burst, more than who's going to be squishy down in a fight in the front lines. 80 carries, I wouldn't really recommend it on. Fury, good on a lot of 80 carries or junglers for attack speed. Cooldown reduction, helpful on everyone. I take it almost every single possible champion. Butcher and Feast don't actually have that strong of a gold ratio for the mastery page. I don't recommend picking them up unless you're really struggling in the jungle. Perhaps if you're lower level or you don't have all the runes to jungle, then I suppose it could be alright. A lot of AP mids or even assassin junglers take dangerous game and 3 stacks of executioner, mostly for the executioner damage, and dangerous game's kind of optional, but it's really helpful just to give yourself a little extra boost in a fight. If you're fighting a 2v1, you assassinate one of them, then you have just that little extra bump in health to either get away or fight the other one. Arcane Blade, great on any AP, especially Teemo, Kale. They really rely on it. It's kind of their core in the offensive tree if they go down this path. Mental Force and Arcane Mastery, pretty much you need them if you're going to be going mid. Just straight down this whole branch is all about AP and cooldown reduction. So then, likewise, straight down these three is you're pretty much required for any ADs. Expose Weakness, Spell Weaving, Blade Weaving. These three all together are pretty much the supportiest or most hybrid kind of damage you can give out. Exposed Weakness, anyone where you're an initiator, Exposed Weakness is alright. It's not just for supports. If you have any sort of initiation, a stun, a grab, a lockdown, a snare, then you want to take up Exposed Weakness probably. Spell Weaving, Blade Weaving, if you have any hybrid damage such as Ezreal, Corki, Master Yi, Lee Sin has some magic damage, I think, off his cripple. Or if you are running a, let me see, hmm, Blade of the Ruin King does do magic damage. And I'm trying to consider here if that counts for spell damage. No, it wouldn't count for spell damage. But Ezreal is pretty much the god of taking both of these, as is Kale, because their damage is so equally split between attack, physical, and magical. So Warlord, like I said, goes with the attack tree here. These four and these four. So Frenzy, not the greatest on pretty much anyone other than the 80 carry. Critical chance, you're not really building it on junglers. Not too many top laners you build it on, unless you're going on Bank Plank or something. So Frenzy's not the most common pickup. It's mostly 80 carries. Devastating Strikes, pretty much good on anyone. Kale, Teemo, anyone hybrid damage, like I've said, just absolutely kills for this because it's perfect for both of them. And Havoc, if you're already this far, you're taking it. Down the defensive tree, there's a lot of them that are just jailbait. You don't want them. They look like you want them, you don't. The biggest possible one for this is Runic Blessing. The only thing about it is that it encourages dying. If it was changed to every single time you entered spawn, you got a 50 health shield, it would change from the worst to one of the best. But it's not. So unless you plan on being bronze 5, dying 20 times a game, it's not going to help you whatsoever. It's one auto attack. It's not even worth it. Because most of the time down in the bottom lane, you see it on a lot of supports. Possibly junglers could take it, I suppose, but still think it's not worth it. I really don't want to see you ever take it. I hate people seeing it, taking it, any of it. So, anyway, block, unyielding, pretty much greatest. Recovery, if you're going to be building a lot of health regen or warmogs eventually in your build, good tanky build or solo lane or top lane, recovery's nice. Enchanted armor, if you don't plan about getting 200, 150, yeah, around that area for armor and magic resist, then enchanted armor is not usually too helpful. Supports, top lane, jungler, only one should really ever take it on. Tough skin, junglers obviously, and bladed armor, it's nice, and I'm still absolutely terrified of stealing buffs away, but with how low the damage bleed is, it's not ever going to hopefully steal from the mid lane or AD carry that you're giving the buff to. So I would recommend taking bladed armor, obviously, and then just get an extra few hits on the camps that you save, which saves you health and saves you time. Veteran scars, pretty much every single champ will want veteran scars. Good 36 health. Juggernaut, roundabout, if you're going to be getting 2 health items, you want to pick up Juggernaut. If you're picking up a Warmogs, you want to pick it up. But if you're picking up 1 health item of any other type that's not Warmogs, then it's probably not worth it. Oppression, anyone that needs to be an initiator that gets in close, Lee Sin, Xin Zhao, those are 2 huge ones that need to get rid of CC and just keep moving when they get in the front lines. They can't be taken down right away. Also, anyone with a slow Talon does well against, or does well with, I mean, oppression because it stacks really well with his passive. Hardiness and resistance are probably the best in the defensive tree because early on 6 flat armor and 6 flat resist will have more effect than any percent increase like back up here. So they're really recommended. Swiftness, great on Singed or anyone else that's in the front line or getting hit with a lot of slows. I suppose if you see they have a lot of slows in their comp, like Nunu or Ashe, if they have like perma slows like that, then you'll definitely want to pick up Swiftness. Or Gnosis. He's really it's a really good counter to him in the top lane. So you gotta kind of switch up your mastery pages beforehand sometimes. Here over on Perseverance and Second Wind, they're really good for just kind of balls to the walls, go on lifesteal and high attack speed champs. So not so much on the Perseverance, but definitely on the Second Wind. The Perseverance, it's good on very few champions, Garen, Mundo, and tanky builds of other ones, but nah, for the most part, nobody stacks health. Second Wind, oh, Zac, I suppose, but Second Wind is the better part of that one because if you ever see Yi with just absolutely insane lifesteal, if he doesn't get snared and cut down, then having Second Wind absolutely just speeds up all of his lifesteal and keeps him very healthy. Especially if he's going to the defense tree in the first place, it'd be kind of odd, but tanky and it's kind of scary. Legendary Guardian, great on any support. Leona is my absolute favorite pick for this one because it just is absolutely perfect for what she does. You jump in, you get tankier. Runic Blessing, don't get it. Tenacious, obviously, the best one. If you're down here, if you're down like past this, you're gonna want to try and sacrifice the other 2 to get it. So Phase Walker, it's mostly just I have the money, I'm gonna buy something, and most of the time Scout's not as helpful. There's few situations, mostly junglers would want Scout over Phase Walker because it gives you a little bit more throwing over walls, wards over walls. So Fleet of Foot is pretty much way better than Meditation unless you have a lot of trouble managing your mana. The reason I took meditation here on my AP page instead of Summoner's Insight is because I don't know, I suck at managing my mana. But I think I had a Rise game once, and that's why I wanted to get Strength of Spirit. But between Summoner's Insight or Meditation, definitely good pickups in the utility tree. Greed, I think it's a greedy mastery. You would need to, you can Google numbers really easily to figure out the gold efficiency of masteries or room pages. Pretty much, if you Google that exact sentence, then you'll end up with charts that will show you the efficiencies, uh, like why you don't want to pick up AP runes in the marks because it's not efficient at all. It's terrible compared to the glyphs. Just like greed is not a very good gold per choice, I suppose, out of your 30 for 3 stacks of greed. But scavenger is very nice, so it balances out between not so good and very good. So yeah, you should probably take it up if you're going full support utility tree. Someone like Janna or Soraka would come all the way down through utility tree. Not too many. Most of them like Sona or Leona or Thresh or Braum, any other support would be unoffensive or defensive. Vampirism, great on anyone who has trouble keeping their health up. Vladimir loves it if he can get it. A lot of other just like Rumble, low mana, no mana champs really usually need to keep on Vampirism. Mundo, I think, is I've seen builds that come down to here just for Vampirism. You come part way down into defensive, and then you get cooldown reduction on Mundo. I don't know. I'm not saying it's the best. I'm just saying I've seen it. Alchemist, you don't really care too much about Alchemist. It's nice. It gives you an extra, 15 health out of potions, I think. But Culinary Mastery is a nice one. Changing it to biscuits, so you're going to be healing an extra like 40 for every potion you buy. And that can just, especially if you're going to have a rough time in lane, if you need to be someone playing back against someone with heavy poke, then these two masteries are very nice to pick up. Inspiration, I guess if you want to play Xylene and have even more Xylene stats, then you can pick up Inspiration. I don't care much for it. You shouldn't be that far behind Experience if you're roaming good as a support. Expanded Mind, Rise loves it. Everyone else, normally you shouldn't need it unless you're planning on involving Rod of Ages, Tear of the Goddess in your build. Wealth, obviously if you're down here, Wealth and Bandit, very nice to pick up. The melee version, I would argue, is crap compared to the ranged version because it takes 5 auto attacks to equal trying to get a kill. And I guarantee in your laning phase, you're going to get more auto attacks off than you are kills. So, pretty easy. Want to figure that out. Range is better. Sadly, though, you can't have both. Intelligence, absolutely love it. 6. I don't know if it scales straight up. Does it go straight to 6% or does it scale exponentially? Either way, it's one of the better ones, and stacked with sorcery, you can have something 10% and then out of your runes and are 15, I believe, in cooldown reduction. So you can come out with nearly max cooldown reduction, pick up Boots of Lucidity, and you'll have 40% before your second item. Not too many champs to recommend that on. Maybe no mana champs. Yeah, no mana champs. Probably the only ones you want to try and rush 40% cooldown on, and that'd just be for fun, silly builds. Wander, absolutely great on any roaming support or possibly even junglers, but most of the time they're in combat technically because they hit a camp recently. But Blitz, Thresh, I love it on them because you can lane gank from lane to lane very quickly with these. So basically those are the masteries, and there's a lot of them that I wish would see a little bit of an update. Kind of this line on right here. I don't like this little 4. Those are my least favorite masteries, along with Runic Blessing. I wish they would remove it because I feel like it's a jailbait. But anyway, so shout out to whoever, I forget your name, sorry, that requested all the masteries to be explained in detail. But I hope you got a lot more out of it than just my little clicking through my pages real fast. But if you have any questions about masteries, runes, I am more than happy to go in depth. I'll explain to you in the comments down below if you wish. Alright, thanks guys.